Voila. All right, well, here we bees. I know I kind of hyped up the day to be the day that I was going to do an interview. Still in the works. Everything is still in the works. Life is a work in progress. So if ever I said, hey, everything is done, I think I would not be very satisfied with myself. So here, I'll just spoil what is to come, and then I'm going to rant and vent and just do what I do to keep myself very sane. What's up, Sean and Saffron? Hello, Shabbat Shalom, one and all. I one of my videos got featured on a mutual friend and platformers live stream earlier today. Shout out to I have to go back and actually start tagging people that we have this collaborative effort, breaking fetters, forging thoughts, and that whole family. It's just to me, it is a family of people that have been through the ringer that is life. Some people that have done their time, some people that have been through mental health, some people that have had addiction issues and have always come out on the other side. And it's good to always speak to other people that can also empathize with. What's up, Mr. President? Good to see you, brother. To that can empathize with the active sobriety and staying sober. I think today is day 14. I am still sober. What's up? Yo, Red Reaper. And yeah, let me just say very publicly, I have no qualms. For a while there, yeah, I feel very liberated and free enough to talk about my own damn experiences, to own them for a while after that whole ridiculous fiasco and the reactions I had gotten as a result of just going I'm not rehashing it. I'm just talking about it so I can move forward. It puts things in the rear view for me. And I think during that time, and while I was under the influence of having alcohol in my system, I really think now with 14 days, and I did seek a meeting today. I couldn't find one, but I got one tomorrow. I think I cared more about what people thought about what I did and how I looked when I was on the sauce. Like, not even actively drunk, just I don't know what it is about alcohol and what it did to my personality or my way of thinking. But after I went in on that with that peanut butter fella, I'm not subscribed to him. I unsubscribed to every single drama channel that is within my scope, because I've identified the priorities in life. And right now it's pretty simple. We all can make life. What's up, Andy? Hey, Andy, it's good to see you. Nobody cares. We want you to talk about the cases. What cases, by God? Well, I'm not a true crime channel, Andy. I know you met me when I first started, and I was going after an individual that was a true crimer, but I've never claimed I was just going to be any one thing. So me, this is my mental health, this is my recovery, this is my catharsis. I'm glad you've been with me for as long as you have. You're more than welcome to be a part of this community. But man, oh man, if I am going to be a disappointment, well, by God, I'm going to be the disappointment I want to be. So, for clarity's sake, hey, what's up, Queen? Yeah, drama sucks. Okay, so what I was gonna say is, when I went on with Peanut Butter's channel, it felt like some of the top tier of Creek Squad kind of turned on me. But no one person except for the founder is a representation of all of Creek Squad. So I now, like, for this specific live, and 4 lives ago, 3 lives ago, I hashtag Creek Squad. I let other people instill in me that I somehow lost that right. But nothing changes that's what embraced me, and I'm proud of that. So from here and there, not every single freaking video, not every video. Then I think if you see somebody doing that who is clearly not an active fan, they're doing it for other reasons. But here and there, I will do so to express and show my appreciation for having the platform, because it is Creek Squad that built me up. Now, moving aside and marching forward. Today I left a message with It's a Mood. That's Misa from It's a Mood. That is the individual. I don't know if this is the first time I mentioned that's the interview that I'm looking forward to accomplishing, I think, on her channel. I think that's what her and I discussed. I want to understand her whole movement, her whole, like, she found herself in the throes of a movement. She is a woman that came onto the scene with to share her experience, her story, and yeah, as somebody that's pretty well, I don't know if I'm entirely neutral because I have my opinions about the individual she does not get along with, and he recently has gone after other platformers. Damn shame too, because if we could all collaborate and understand that we are a community in and of itself, we're co-workers, we could do better things for one another, for the world, even if I may be so bold. So yes, that's the individual that I'm going to be interviewing when we get that all orchestrated. And without giving too much away, speaking to the voices behind the wall family, and we have something in the woodworks. And I spoke to an individual today who has a YouTube presence, but he's got a lot more. Um, it's exciting to learn what people's dreams and aspirations are. I myself and relearning and reliving the things that have always kept me going before alcohol and substances totally obscured my own clarity. But I spoke to a man who spent 17 years in prison today for about maybe an hour. This individual is somebody who also shares in understanding bipolar. And sorry. Oh, that's a good text right there. Um, and I found it very interesting just how like-minded we are. Not only because we both understand what bipolar is like and what mania is like, but the perspective of him sharing with me, this is the first time in my 38 years on this planet that I've ever heard somebody say that they felt prison was too was too easy. 17 years, man. I think at this point in the conversation, he was sharing with me that I think perhaps he had wished that the beginning of his experience with jail was different. Maybe it would have scared him off a bit more. But this is not my own story to tell. I'm only giving a little feedback as to what I am experiencing. Oh, of course, hey, live freedom, live freedom, whichever it is. My pleasure, and I'm glad that I've got to subscribe to the entire family. And oh, no snap. And he said, "Hear me out. My father was one of the original authors of the NA." Wow, that's amazing. I really wish you would have shared that information sooner. Please feel free. I know you. I think you got my email, man. I would be more than interested if this is something you're interested in. And to your earlier comment, I hope it didn't come off too snappy or anything. Right now, I don't want to get ever over encumbered with too many cases because I feel like one case, until it's seen through as far as I can personally take it, is important enough. Like, I'm trying to look at as important this case is, Jamie Valdez is to the Valdez family. So I'm allowing the whole process to go through, Sean and company and family with all the information they're acquiring. That's a process. And I will continue to offer this platform as I did. She reported to me that she will absolutely reach out and speak when there is some legitimate material to share with one and all. And aside from my general excitement, and I'm very much at peace with this clarity. I just did my first art piece. I have not taken a pencil to paper in a very, very long time, and I'm actually pretty pleased with the outcome. I still got it. It just took some clarity. I was able to sketch. I'm doing some practice artwork on like Joker, and I'm trying to rediscover the things that have always kept me busy. And it's as simple as trying out a video game. Like, I'll be very forthcoming and transparent. I, you know, it's Sunday, it's a day off. All right, I did at my work week. So in my mind, usually I'm accustomed to, man, my phone is blown up. Wow. I'm accustomed to, okay, it's the day off. I should go while out or I'll go to the bar. Well, that's not an option for me currently. It is just, nor do I think will it be for quite some time, even though I still have this crazy idea that I'm going to go clean cold turkey, which I have been 14 days for an entire month. And then why would I do this? I'm going to chance it, go to a bar and have a few drinks and see if I can tote the moderation line. So the more I think about it and the more I say it out loud and listen to myself, the more I think maybe that's not the best idea. So right now, though, in the present, it's a return to the basics. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to an AA meeting. I still have, it feels like I'm very much am able to stay busy. The YouTube thing is not a negative thing. It can be very empowering when you start to prioritize the things that are important to us and what we want to build upon. So me keeping relationships with the various YouTubers that have channels such as Live Freedom. Hey, what's up, Stacy? Global. Lori, I'm very eager for us to talk again because of the differences that we have. When I stayed in your last live that I was present for, where I mean, we're very different minded people, but we're also like I'm proud to call her friend. We think absolutely differently on paper. You would not think the two of us would even be able to stay in the same room. But I don't like the tribalism. I don't like just because we think so differently or this way or that way that we can't break bread or just simply be civil or be friends. So yeah, in her chat, I did feel a little bit alienated. I heard things that I didn't fully agree with, and I stayed for about 30 minutes. But the beauty of this channel and platform is that we can, in fact, just hear each other out. And I think the intention of this grand old experiment called the internet was to see if we could truly connect and cross borders, breach the walls that divide us. And I'm falling back to the whole moniker of what the progressive patriot is, right? I'm looking for unity everywhere. So regardless of me hearing things that I know I inherently disagree with to the core of my soul, it doesn't change the fact that we can still have a very healthy dialogue about our differences. Or it maybe I think it's much more to have a conversation with somebody who you don't agree with, as opposed to just imagine. All right, you know how funny the movie Step Brothers is. Will Ferrell and oh god, can't forget the dude's name. He's a genius, but I forgot his name right now. I'm sorry. Just listening to two people go, "Do I agree with you? Yep. Do you agree with me? Yep. Okay." There's no real substance. It's fun, but you're not challenging each other. So so yes, there is value in finding things and people that don't think like you and learning to carry dialogue and conversation. So these are one of the things that I think about as I decide to maintain this channel. My God, lady, write me a novel, why don't you? Okay, thank you. I'm going to put that down for a moment. John C. Riley, Jack, you came in the clutch. Thank you so much. And a total shout out to Global Watchman News. I guarantee you there's people within this community that will absolutely love the free thinking and the topics that is discussed in Global Watchman News. That is a channel that was once torn down because sometimes our coveted free speech champion platforms are not always practicing what they preach, and they will tear down dissenting opinions, which is my issue with the whole Kanye West interview thing. Oh, and fun fact, because of that last live I did about Brittany Griner, yes, I know the basketball player we're all tired of hearing about, and it's another divider. Just in case you didn't know, Victor Bout, the Merchant of Death, that was in fact unequivocally, without a doubt, it's been confirmed. The movie Lord of War, Nicolas Cage, 2005, which I rewatched today just to get a better perspective. That was about him. And the whole scene with the brother getting killed, that didn't happen. He didn't have a brother. The movie went out of its way to humanize. They had to humanize this guy more because he was so disconnected and just so unlikable. We let a monster out. And you know what? I will start to shine the tin of the tinfoil hat that I wear when I think about this whole exchange. The fact that we left a Marine And people are leaving, I don't care about this detail, and who knows what's the truth anymore these days. And now I'm on a tangent about this whole thing. But what was it? Paul Whelan is a Marine. He was dishonorably discharged, but that doesn't change a damn thing. He is a war veteran of Iraq. He has been serving hard time in a work camp in Russia for 4 years. He is 52 years old. Okay? Now, the Russian lawyer, because I covered this on the last live I did, goes on the record to say, "Oh no, that Russia did a good thing. America, Biden administration, they did good thing. Yes, because a basketball player lately, she delicate sensibility. I don't have a Russian accent. She has too delicate of sensibilities. Bad for the anxiety. This Russian prison stuff. Yes, yes. So we let her go. I think it's best get her home." Even though she did something absolutely stupid. Do I think she deserved to be? I mean, there's a level of accountability. It's a controversial issue. I think a Marine, an American soldier, is at more danger and risk, especially with the age factor and everything under the sun, is more at risk than the identity politics bullshit that the mainstream is shoveling into us, telling us this is why. Now, the real reason was revealed in Joe Biden's own words. "I was under heavy pressure by the black community, by females in the black community," something to that effect. Go find the transcript. Go find the news anchors that quote him word for word. This was a pander. He did it for the constituency to vote for him, not because it compelled his heart or anything. And yeah, I'm going to go as far as that speculation. And now, just like Victor Bout, man, a man that has profiteered off of mass death, genocide, arms dealing, connections with terrorism, and the cartels. That is who we sent into the arms, if you see the clip, into the arms of his lover. And he was given a big old grand hug. And what did we get in return? Just some chick that brought some freaking marijuana cartridges for her vape all the way to Russia, as if that wasn't going to have consequences. And now we passed up a freaking Marine. I'm going to go as far as calling him a war hero, but I'm not trying to make this more sensationalized. The man served his country. He's a hero for that. And we're letting him rot in some Russian work camp. Shame on the media for playing the identity politics card. Shame on this administration. And I cannot stop being pissed at this. Go ahead and refresh your memory, unless you want to do the research. Merchant of Death is what this man was coined as. Go ahead and watch Lord of War and get to see, based on a true story. There's some good scenes in there that show you the truth about how directly responsible he is for children and families and people being mass unalived. That's what our country voted for. And during a time of war and conflict, Russia, Ukraine, what a better card for Russia to go ahead and get for themselves than a man with all the connections. Victor Bout was able to sell over $30 billion in arms right after the Cold War ended. So it's not like we just took some Joe Schmo and set him free. We lost so bad, and I can't believe that I've been going on a tangent this long about the whole Griner exchange, but it's really pissed me off as an American. Progressive patriot. I want to be a patriot again, but the actions taken by our government makes it feel impossible for me to love this country. I can love the country, but the leadership, it is not a representation of the working class or the American people. And I wish the world knew that. It's almost like it just our mainstream media is nothing but a propaganda machine. This is not really about recovery anymore right now, is it? Sorry, I told myself, I made a vow I would not go off on political tangents on this channel. I'm even thinking about making a separate channel. But this channel is supposed to be an extension of every opinion and thought that I have. So I'd be disingenuous if I were to hide what I really think over here, right here. So what I did intend to do is to come on here and tell you all, here I am, 14 days sober. Maybe I'm guilty of keeping a distance from some of the people I know would love to hear from me if I were to call and make plans, people, a little closer to home. But I honestly don't know. I don't know what else to do than to go to a bar and drink. And that's something I need to work on, which is why I'm drawing and installing another video game. I think I'm going to go for a drive. There's an arcade, but of course this arcade sells booze. I just don't feel like I'm ready to be around people drinking tonight. Not yet. Too soon. Too soon. And for the mania, when I was in the depression and the bipolar stuff, talking with my friend who did 17 years had me really hey, what's up, Brand? Long time no see. It's good. Well, not really long time, but it's good to see you. It had me really evaluating, the similarities, and I admire that this man is able to. He's a loner and he's at peace with that. I don't want to be a loner. I'm resolved to, you know, being more alone, I suppose, than most. But I find it so interesting that those of us that crave connection and the internet is a place for just that, we still find a way to feel so alone. And me and this individual on the phone were talking about how even though the internet and technology and everything digital and earbuds, it's so easy to disconnect in reality from the people, literally the blood and the flesh right near us, the souls and the minds that want to communicate with us. We tune that out in favor for some other connection, other world. Well, I don't know. It's something that's just not real. It's surreal. And yeah, so me and the individual whose identity is being protected until I speak to the platformer, um, we're really just thinking about that. Why about just the mass violence in general. He doesn't live in the States, and so we were talking about that, and we just started to talk about how I feel the more this technology becomes a part of our daily living, the more we're connected, the more we're disconnected. The more tuned in, the more tuned out we are. And yes, I do believe that on a mass scale, our psyche, our psychology, our brains, the way we think, it is changing. It is changing rapidly right under our noses, and we're not even aware of it as it happens, which is nothing short of you can get into the conspiracy level here and say, Operation Mockingbird, or because what is Mockingbird but another way to manipulate the way groups of people think and just go to the roots of it. And I'm not just a conspiracy channel. I'm just sharing my thoughts with newfound clarity. It all started with the CIA seeing how they can manipulate and make groups of people think in universities and things like that, and then they took it up a notch. Then they went to hospitals, think tanks, and then they took it to political groups, and it's all about skewering just the way the population looks at things. Take a look at anything under the sun right now that was perhaps once viewed as negative, and now we look at it as a positive. What could that be? I don't know. Let's take one thing for example: masks. I don't think masks were ever in the general population's consciousness of thinking, but now masks, you're either pro or against. What the hell is that? Vaccines have never been so hyperbolic and sensational, and now all of a sudden we have pro and anti-vax. You can't be an anti-vaxxer if you're just skeptical of one vaccine. That's not what an anti-vaxxer is. So I do find frustration with any of my friends that I speak to that still default to the, oh, well, if you didn't get vaccinated, you're just anti all the vaccines. No, you dumb shit. I never said that. I just said I don't think Operation Warp Speed was the greatest vote of confidence, even though the pressure was on him and he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. That would be Trump I'm referring to, by the by. That was a lose-lose. That was a catch. If he would have acted too slow, he would have been shit on. Acted too fast, he is shit on. So, I'm not defending anything. I'm just saying it out loud. So just look at how everything is just so bass backwards. And still to this day, can anybody explain to me the whole TP revolution? What the hell was happening there, folks? With the hindsight we have now. Oh, and how about those first 2 weeks of the lockdowns? I know this is old news already and we're tired of it, but I'm not going to forget. I think that's how they get away with this shit, is the slow drip of everybody, the evolution of everybody's way of life changing so abruptly. And then we all become absolutely codependent on big corporations, mom and pop shops, Josh's old freaking pipe store, or what was it, smoke shop that went under, just like every damn mom and pop shop or family owned business seemingly went under. And now we run on gig economies. Now everything's digital. There's McDonald's that don't even take cash, apparently, I was told. And everything is, a touch screen and hit the buttons. It's almost like we're being conditioned to not even be human to each other. I don't know how else to put it. I don't really know how to define it. And I'm not sitting back all day, all night when I'm not working, which is I'm working most of the damn time, thinking about what this all means. But I am a thinker and I can't turn it off. So when I do have the day off and the idle time and when I'm drawing, this is some of the crap that jumps into my head. And none of it makes sense, man. Yeah, I don't know where these tangents go. That's why I don't know how to hashtag them. I did put Creek Squad just to show my appreciation. And I did put recovery because, hey, 14 days so far and not a drop, not a drip drop. Just today it's root beer, by the way. Sorry, apple juice, pineapple, apple juice, pen, pineapple, pineapple, pen. That would be an inside joke. And grape juice, not today. Today it's root beer. Shout out to Barks Root Beer. You can send me my check in the mail immediately. And yeah, the whole Kanye West thing, by God, the mainstream going ahead and trying to scrub it to pretend it never existed, which has a complete, this is what, when Cannabis Conservative, CanCon and I were talking about how Mockingbird works, you have to really wonder, what the real end game is. So when they go ahead and have a polarizing, controversial interview with Alex Jones and Kanye West wearing a sock saying he loves Hitler. But really, I think he was just trying to explain himself as a Christian individual that loves all people. And if we were given the full context, we wouldn't have to rely on headlines and sound bites to try to get to the truth, right? But since the game is being played as it is, when they scrub it and make it taboo, it makes us want to seek things out. So is it their intention that we do just that? I don't know. Do I sound like a crazy person? Probably. Or is it that they really think we're that stupid, or they really intend to insult our intelligence? Like we're gonna hear sound bites and be satisfied? Hell no. So we're in strange times. America, Canada, the world, first world countries. We're absolutely in strange times. And I can't really say that I'm comfortable with a lot of the things that I see changing. And the changes happen either so quickly or so slowly. You just don't even see it coming. And so something I was going to say mid-sentence is, look, I was an essential worker. I'm not greater than any freaking doctor or nurse or people giving prescriptions, but I'm sure, like many of you, if you were fortunate enough to get your income and not wait for a $1,500 check, which was called a stimulus check, get the hell out of here with this. I remember when I had to go to work every day and going out on that first drive over to my store and seeing literally the freaking Walking Dead out in on my own blocks. Not a single car on the road. Literally, I could see the tumbleweeds, man, which in Florida we call them plastic bags, just flying in the wind. It was a dead zone. Nobody walking. Nobody. There's just, you could hear a pin drop in the great outdoors. And that happened over the span of That happened for 2 weeks straight, as much as near and far as I can remember. And really, with this hindsight, people were putting dirty underwear over their faces, not ironically and not as a joke, because suddenly our basic freedoms, was it panic? Like now I'm just trying to think, man. And the terms of service, I've said this over and over again, and I don't mean to be the dead horse here, but how crazy is it that large platforms like YouTube and others, they took away our basic freedom to speak about things, especially essential core issues like a vaccine or a new disease, and suddenly you could get a strike, which I did. My only strike on this channel was because I read a government document by an actual doctor who wrote an op-ed, shared his opinion about the virus. And when I contested the strike, YouTube's response was essentially, "You're not a doctor and you cannot read the words of a doctor." And we were sitting there letting this crap happen. How the hell did that happen? And how did we let them just strip our very core fundamental freedoms and First Amendment rights and allow it and applaud the private companies for doing so? And then suddenly, like we're only talking maybe like 6 months later ago, they give us the right to speak freely about these very topics again. And we're like patting these companies on the back for, or our legislators, because why? What? You took what was always ours and made it yours, and then you slowly slipped it back to us, and then we're saying thank you. Can I have another? Like, what in the hell? Like, as a collective, because I am fortunate enough, blessed enough to have a platform, speaking to a freaking microphone with a freaking live feeding camera, I can share these thoughts while we can still freely share our thoughts and opinions. And I do look forward to reading every response and comment. And there are reasons that I don't engage in the chat anymore, because there are stupid idiots sometimes, not too many, namely like one or two, that jump in here for no other purpose than to show negativity or distract me. And I've learned the distraction's not worth it. So, either I'll address it or I'll just keep on keeping on. But yeah, and all of this, and I bear in mind how the great opioid epidemic even kicked in, and how still to this day, what was the greatest response for accountability and justice to the very family? Don't forget their name, Sackler. The Sackler family. I did a whole special about them. The only punishment they got, aside from they got to file for bankruptcy, they got to get the courts to grant them immunity from the lawsuits and some settlements outside of the courts. What else? What else? Oh, yeah. Here was the big one, guys. No, not cuffs on anybody's wrists, no jail time. And when the victims and the families got to actually speak to the people that put out the drugs and advertised to the children and were making Oxycontin chewables and all that, they didn't even have to respond to the families. They got to do it over Zoom and turn their screens off so we couldn't see their shame. If they even had shame, I bet you they were laughing all the way to the bank. They were laughing so much that they were crying and wiping their tears with the dollars they made off of the dead people. I was going to say children, but YouTube might come down on me for putting those words too close together. So the greatest response to that was having their names removed from museums, and their donation of $1 million or $500,000 were not accepted by their favorite institutions, Cambridge or whatever museum of art and blah blah blah. Oh my God, they really learned a lesson, and they still had the gall and the audacity. One of I'll never forget the interview. It was the woman representative, and she was the daughter of the CEO of the Sackler family. She was, we all thought, going to apologize. A reporter set her up to apologize. At least, I don't know, not that it would mean a damn thing to anybody. The damage is done. People are buried, and that's that. And she said, I wouldn't have done anything different, even knowing what I know now. There was no way. Look it up for yourself if the internet has, or the powers that be haven't decided to just scrub that one too. And that's the slippery slope for anybody that hears this message and sees and accepts and puts a thumbs up and celebrates that that the interwebs and other people other than us, the people, are scrubbing interviews that they don't like. Even if we don't like it, at least we have the freedom to tune in or tune out. But other powers that be and the heads of these platforms, the ones that are unaffected and wealthy as a mother effer, they get to decide what is acceptable and what is not. And it's a slippery slope if you celebrate that. Because just like the Sacklers not getting their just desserts, what if they were to decide to remove all the evidence that ever connected them, or the interview or the PR that made them look bad? You can't ever celebrate on this level a silencing or a staunching of the First Amendment. You just cannot. It's dangerous. And yes, we're all tired of hearing the slippery slope, but where else can it lead but to more silencing of the people? So yeah, I guess that's some of the stuff I've had on my mind recently. Now, let me go ahead and pay a little visit to the chat. Unspecified V, you still continue to amaze me because for all these years, I didn't know what you looked like. I'm like, oh my God. I thought you were like, I thought you were 70 or 80 years old. Sorry, just saying. And yeah, repackage, resale. Actually, I couldn't put it any better. That's exactly what it is. They do the damage. We may be pissed off or so afraid. And so we find it acceptable that they do whatever it is they feel they have to do because we entrust them, our representation, with our best interests, even though I'm convinced that our votes don't really matter like we were indoctrinated to believe. I'm that disenfranchised. They repackage the whole narrative, and then they end up just saying it was for, and they sell it to us on with the tag saying it was for your own good. This is how it needed to happen. I just it's got to be mind-blowing to not just me, right? I know I'm not the only one sitting here thinking that all of this stuff is just insane. I'm going about my day to day and I'm living my I guess to the best of my ability. Hold on, let me see. All right. Oh, and now I'm reminded suddenly. Thank you, Mania, of a conversation I had about a term that has gone up 300% in search engines alone, or at least Google: sudden death. Sudden, unforeseeable, nearly unexplainable death. The search for that term has gone up I don't understand the maths here. 300% though. Just like CNN and the mainstream said, hate speech has gone up 800%. What an amazing number, mainstream. Thank you for making it as hyperbolic as possible. So yeah, I'm gonna clip when CanCon and I were talking about this dude. Oh man, I never shared the story here. See, I would have gone on OBS or something so I could share the clip here. This 63-year-old guy who was known to be a massive health guru, and the dude was in shape. Okay, never had anything, no allergies, no nothing. Dude was the pinnacle of health. He was a nutritionist. And a social media influencer. He had a big following. It is the first or the second appearance I did on CanCon's Rumble.com show, and we pulled this story. So I can't remember his name, but the dude did the ultimate flex, right? Remember how at the time with the vid, the Rona, whatever, when somebody would go to social media and they'd start posting how, they were not going to get the vaccine. And then unfortunately, the worst of humanity would happen. And then the worst outcome to a human being would happen. And this individual would get the vid and would end up, because of whatever reasons, even though the virus in itself is not so freaking, like, can I say that? 0.8% of transmission, not mortality. 0.8%. That's never changed. And it brings you down to a 0.6 or something. So this 62-year-old man flexes that he's going to get the vaccine, and he's going to show us all how stupid we are acting about not vaccines in general. Does not make you an anti-vaxxer because you have an issue with one vaccine. So this dude takes the vaccine and just said, look, it's the ultimate shut up. I'm going to take it. Y'all going to see me live a happy and healthy life, and the laugh's going to be on you all. Ha, 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 screw you. Now, CanCon and I were very careful to mention we were not poking fun at the dead, because this guy ended up dead. Okay? And guess what? I got to check up to see if they ever released a proper report. But it was I mean, what the hell? This was a health nut watching his gluten intake, taking vitamins, working out, doing everything right, healthier than me at 38 years old, healthier than me at 24 years old. And he suddenly departs this earth. And it was, I'm trying to remember the timeline of the vaccine and when he had took it. And I have to be careful about on this platform because I can imply, I cannot directly make the claim. And I don't have the article available like I did when I was with CanCon or Brian. But yeah, we did not get an explanation. I think it was not respiratory, heart. And man, what happened to that documentary that I did a whole trailer for here, where finally I think we have one out of all the institutions, out of all the scientific minds in the world right now. Why do we only have, that I can recall, one nonprofit? If I recall correctly, I will have to double back and verify and vet the things I'm saying here. One institution is looking into the recent surge in sudden death. I cannot sit here and make the connection for you, but what's the thing that was just pushed on the population? And now what's the thing that's trending? So, I'm not going to connect dots for us. I'm not going to make the argument. I'm just going to propose the idea and then let us speculate away on what could it possibly be. What happened to, let me see. Let me see briefly. I apologize, but I remember the story so well. I bet you I could find it. My Chrome is still screwed up because I had a VPN issue, but hold on. Okay. Health Guru 62 or 63. I'm so sorry he's gone, but this is what happened. Let's see. Let me put the keywords here for probably not using the best search engine for this. Vaccine and ends. Timeline. No, not a timeline. Diet and fitness. Whoa. Okay. 10 diet and fitness health gurus. No. Give me the one. Or do I have to call CanCon? All right, I gotta simplify this. Age. Let me put age 62. Age 62. Sorry, I'm doing this live and I don't have any clips for you. All right, let's try nutritionalist. Nutritionalist takes pokey. Oh, I spelled vaccine wrong. That's why. And this is the wrong search engine. Months later. Let's see. Let me see if I can narrow this down. Natural causes now natural causes now blamed. Let me see if this is it. I got more results than I anticipated. Okay. Give me a moment, guys. Give me a moment. Real-time searching. New York Post. I'm in danger. That's not the guy. But what is this? Natural causes now blamed for doctor who died 2 weeks after Pfizer vaccine. Hey, real-time news. Breaking. When was this posted? April 8th, 2021. So 2 weeks after he took the Pfizer vaccine? Okay, so that's the headline. Natural causes now blamed for doctor who died 2 weeks after. Way to get your foot ahead of the game, mainstream media arbiters of truth, and all that is right and wrong. This is close to home. A Miami Beach doctor who died 16 days after getting a Pfizer pokey in January appears to have expired. I mean, I shouldn't be making a jest of this. From natural causes, officials say. I'm going to end up on frickin' Rumble. An autopsy on Dr. Gregory Michael, this is not the guy I was looking into either, 56 years old, younger than the other one, has concluded he died from A complications. Why is the New York Post typoing? An autopsy on Dr. Gregory Michael, 56, has concluded he died from A complications of immune thrombocytopenia. Here, I'm gonna copy that and paste it, and y'all have fun with that. And I'm gonna read the rest of this. It is an insult to our intelligence, right? They just forget that we have an access to everything. Hey, Indy, I'm glad you're here for this one, by the way. Barb, we love you. Okay, so yeah, I hate to say it that way, but unpoisoned over here as well. And I'm not trying to make this a debate, Wolverine. It's good. Yeah, we're all in the same league and team. I don't want to be a part of like the fractioning. It's just it is what it is. And we were made to feel like we were doing something wrong. Shame on them. So sorry, let me get to this here. Did I copy and paste it? Sorry. Here's the word. I don't know what this is. Throm Thrombopenia. Yeah, okay, there's the word. A condition that prevents blood from clotting and which can cause internal bleeding. Oh, okay, great. So this happens 2 weeks after the poke. Okay. There is no medical certainty that the shot, I'm just reading the words, YouTube, Google, I should say. There is no medical certainty that the shot had anything to do with the condition. The Florida Department of Health has determined in a joint investigation with the CDC, who we all know we can trust, and they allow just a certain amount of excrement and fecal matter in our foods. So, you know. And they also, the CDC, are they not or am I thinking of the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA? All the same frickin' pony. Uh, One of the two or both are responsible for marketing Oxycontin to kids. So, which reviewed samples from the autopsy. Okay, thank you, Florida Department of Health and CDC. Nothing to see here. Michael was an OBGYN at Mount Sinai Medical Center when he suffered a hemorrhagic stroke. Why is it that all these sudden deaths are strokes? Can anybody? I have friends and supporters within the community in the medical field. One that's coming to mind right now. We need to have a talk because why is it that every single suspicious or conveniently timed expiration? Oh, God, I'm sorry. Expiration occurs within, I don't know, somewhat of a month span of time of getting the poke, and it's always the freaking heart. What's up with that? He had received a Pfizer poke on December 18th, and his wife said at the time that he suffered a strong reaction to, I'm reading the quote, a strong reaction to the COVID vaccine 3 days afterwards. Blood vessels were breaking on his feet and hands. Oh my goodness. Prompting him to go to the ER where he was diagnosed with the condition. So this condition was latent. So I'm sorry. Are they not telling us in plain sight here that it was the actual freaking poke itself that had generated this very, very negative response? They're telling us they're repackaging and reselling. That's what's happening. 2 weeks later, and despite treatment, he suffered a hemorrhagic stroke and died suddenly. Come on, you're going to tell me. So I love how they get the big, bold headline to say natural causes, natural causes. What is natural about we're not talking about 16 days when he suddenly dies with the heart failure or whatever. We're talking, how about the 3 days after the damn thing where his blood vessels were visible on the bottoms of his feet? How about that? Can we explain that one away? Why can't we get pictures of what that looks like? Is it too bad of a PR move or image? Are we now putting the interests of big pharma over human lives? Of course we are. I'm sorry, status quo. I didn't mean to overspeak. We know how it goes. The lobbyists, the money, you have it all. We're just the Joe Schmoes. We're your guinea pigs. Let me go back to my place. Please, sir, can I have another? To date, millions of people have been vaccinated, Pfizer spokesperson Jerica Pitts told the Post in a statement after Michael's death. Hold on, I need to wash down the bullshit. Root beer, the closest I'll get to beer. And we are closely monitoring all adverse events in individuals receiving our poke. It is important to note that serious adverse events, including deaths that are unrelated to the poke, are unfortunately likely to occur at a similar rate as they would in the general population. What does that mean? And that was a short article. Wow. Okay, hold on. Let me try to deconstruct this last line. It is important to note that serious adverse events, okay, including deaths that are unrelated to the vaccine are unfortunately likely to occur at a similar rate as they would in the general population. What in the fuck are they even saying? Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm using not Google, not Firefox. I don't freaking know. DuckDuckGo. This is just Bing I'm using. What? Oh, is this? What is it? Okay. Hey, more breaking news. This video is gonna get demonetized or a strike. Hey man, no risk, no reward, right? So let's enjoy the ride before the consequences. What's this one? Because this age sticks out and is immediately alarming. And I noticed for whatever reason, like dailymail.uk, they give you the bare bones of the news. They go by facts at first. It's like the news that's released before the op-eds, the opinion heads, and the pundits get to it and start to politicize things. So here's the headline. Physical therapist, 28 years old. 28 years old. 28 years old, working at a senior living facility in Indiana, dies 2 days after getting the. You want to finish the sentence for me? I'm worried if I say it out loud. Hold on. I'm all out of the root beer to wash down the bullshit. So I think I paused long enough. Physical therapist means a pretty healthy guy, I'd assume. Or is that me just assuming too much in 2022? At the age of 28, working at a senior living facility, Indiana, dies 2 days after getting that thing with the needle that goes inside and is supposed to assist our immune system and all that. 2 days. So the way .uk or Daily Mail rolls is they put 3 bold facts at the top of every article. Haley Link, oh man, beautiful young lady. That's a shame. That's a freaking shame. Haley Link Brinkmeyer. Here's the name. If anybody else wants to seek this name on other outlets, which is what I really champion. See, I want to show that we invite discourse and everybody to look at information. So here's the name. If anybody wants to look at that name and see what else you can find, because I guarantee you, this is the first article that's put out. So, all right, let's see. Died January 21st after she received an mRNA shot believed to be either the Pfizer, BioNTech, or Moderna pokey jab poke. Brinkmeyer's death shocked her family, as it should shock anybody because they are 28 and amazingly healthy and in tip-top shape, absolutely gorgeous, nothing adverse, not obese, nothing, as far as I know. Let's go down the rabbit hole, shall we? According to her mother, Shauna O'Neill Link. Of course, shocked her family. Yeah, you really had to spell that out for us. Yeah, no. You want to start normalizing sudden deaths to us, right? Mainstream. We're just so we don't question it, right? So documentaries that go and expound further on why this is now such a top researched and trending term, sudden death. 800% media. That's what y'all said. 800%. It's gone up. So your fault. The young physical therapist worked at North River Health Campus, a senior living community in Evansville, Indiana. So she died at her home in January, 2 days after she received the you-know-what. Haley Link Brinkmeyer, 28. All right, it's just going to be a repackaging of the same facts, and at least the Daily Mail doesn't add the whole narrative. They're just going to give the facts. They won't confirm whether it was just Pfizer or Moderna, which is convenient. Why would that even be? Can't we at least get the which one? I don't understand why the news or mainstream has an issue. I mean, come on, this is the mainstream that gets championed by the fact checkers, right? Why would this suddenly be such an anomaly to report? Which freaking poke thing? It was. So now it's got to be all like, just like, oh, we don't know which one. So let's just, keep the crowd guessing. The blog, which is operated by COVID Legal USA, aims to publish articles that minimize the effectiveness of masks and vaccines amid the pandemic. Let me go ahead and copy. I didn't know this was a thing. 1 year later, that I'm gonna do some research on myself. Okay, so at least there is a foundation trying to keep up and keep tabs. I want to see what they've done and accomplished a year later with the whole 800% uptick of this very term, sudden death going up. And vaccines amid the pandemic, and helps people file litigation against companies enforcing mandatory poke policies. Brinkmeyer's death shocked her family, her mother. Yeah, okay, told the blog. I know. In what appears to be a Facebook comment to another user, Link allegedly spread conspiracy theories. Wait, what? So wait. This is where the truth always gets stranger than fiction, because what I'm reading in front of me, here's a link to the article, guys, because they're about to slander this woman who is deceased, who apparently was spreading conspiracy theories about the the poke being a form of depopulation, and she's the one that just happens to end up expired. Okay. And what appears to be, yep, that's what I said. Link allegedly spread conspiracy theories that the poke was created for depopulation. Wow. And then she's the one to go. My 28-year-old daughter took the vaccine on a Tuesday, direct quote, and she was dead by Thursday. Link allegedly said in the comment. This would be her mother, which was shared by the blog. Oh, there's a picture of her with her husband. There's the family. Okay, here's a statement by the husband. Man, they look like they're kids. They are kids. Our hearts have been broken upon the passing of Evan's wife and high school sweetheart, Haley Link Brinkmeyer. No words can express the depths of the loss being felt by Haley and Evan's families. We will put our faith in God to give us strength and as we try to understand why. Please pray for Haley and Evan and their families. Lastly, if you have kids, give them a hug today and tell them you love them. It's written by the parents. What do we got here? Project Camelot. So this is some kind of link. I think it's a link to her actual blog. Here's a comment. Stacy Ann Tiano. Sorry if I get morose and I'm not the showman, but I'm just, I pride myself in the whole real-time experience and learning. Stacy Ann Tiano. Oh, this is to an. I beg your pardon, Miss Know-It-All. My 28-year-old daughter took this is of a forum here. Took the vaccine on a Tuesday and was dead by Thursday. You have no idea what the hell you are talking about. Autopsy shows no other red flags. Coroner has assured us he will get to the bottom of this vaccine crap. It's blurred out. Okay, now I can't really read that out loud. Anything with Bill Grapes or Quack Fauci name attached should be a red flag. Depopulation, my folks, depopulation. That's their objective. YouTube, I am merely reading the direct quotations. I am not sharing an opinion or inciting or implying anything. I am reading the opinions that have been reported by the dailymail.uk. Let me see. And that's the mother that was commenting to somebody on Facebook, it appears. Autopsy shows no other red flags. Coroner has assured us. Yeah, okay. She added, okay. Link's Facebook account appears to have since been deleted. Why? Like, can we get a clarification? Because I was just going on about the whole removing and silencing dissenting opinions and controlling narratives. And now, I mean, usually what's typical of a social media platform such as Facebook would be to memorialize an account. That's what, unfortunately, I have 12 accounts that are memorialized. I don't know any of the people that have passed in my life whose account just was deleted after the fact. There's so many. Okay. All right. Now let me just keep reading. DailyMail.com has reached out to Brinkmeyer's husband, Evan, for more information and additional comment. Brinkmeyer met her husband while attending Ritz. They're not going to give me clarification. They're just going to tell us that her Facebook account appears to have been deleted, and they're going to leave it there. Really? And then they just segue to how they met. What the The high school sweethearts were crowned homecoming king and queen and were married for 2 years. She graduated from University of Evansville in 2018 with a doctorate in physical therapy and was a member of, I don't know what this is. A sorority, according to her obituary. There's a lovely picture of her amazing family right there. Our hearts have been broken upon the passing of Evan's wife and high school sweetheart. No words can express the depths of the loss being felt by nothing about the Facebook account. That was the one that was apparently spreading information. I mean, her opinions, and it's gone, just gone. Okay, sure, that happens all the time. Our digital footprint is so easy to erase, not. Father-in-law James Brinkmeyer posted on Facebook, "We will put our faith in God to give us strength as we try to understand why. Please pray for Haley." And okay, this I think I read earlier. Hug your kids. The young physical therapist worked at North River Health Campus, a senior living. We covered that. North River Health Campus posted photos and a message about COVID vaccines to Facebook on January 20th. Around the same time she got the shot, according to the blog. Appropriately themed shots of hope. Hold on. Our halls were adorned with all of the colors of the rainbow. So this woman was passionately against the mandates and the poke in and of itself, and I'm using that term for a reason. So then they go and sully the very passion she had by adorning everything and putting out syringe-esque propaganda everywhere, and they post it to the website that of the place she worked for. Oh man, it's like I'm sorry, does that not sound like they're pissing on her grave a little bit? It's like, you stepped out of line. I'm not trying to. It's not a conspiracy thing. Okay, it's just how I'm thinking right now. Okay, so shots for hope, right? Our halls were adorned with all the colors of the rainbow. Residents and staff alike rolled up their sleeves to do their part to slow the spread of so they used her death to incentivize more people to get it. I'm telling you, man, forget Hollywood scripts, dude. Reality, the news cycle, it writes itself. It writes its damn self. So the Senior Living Center captioned the post, "Oh man, they pissed all over her grave." And they got the very people were her peers or the people she worked with to go and roll up their sleeves to get oh my God. People can be used, even if you're against it, they will take your corpse and make you a martyr for the cause that you went down fighting, allegedly. I'm trying to be very, very cautious here. Wow, this entire rant took a spin. It was not immediately clear if Brinkmeyer received the jab at the time, which we've already confirmed she did. According to her obituary, the family asked for another typo in a mainstream link. The family asked for 2 donations to the Haley Link Brinkmeyer Foundation, created to provide assistance and medicine for diabetes patients. And here's that big ol' FU picture of the place she worked, of people getting the jab. Incredible. Let me read the caption here. So this is North River Health Campus, January 20th. Public post, Facebook. "We were honored to be able to hold our first of 3 COVID vaccine clinics today, appropriately themed shots of hope. Our halls were adorned with all the..." Yeah, okay, I just read that crap. "Slow the spread of this terrible..." Wasn't this an article about how the 24-year-old, or was it 28-year-old, died 2 days after the frickin' poke itself? I don't understand. Look at all these pictures of people getting the jab with a smile on their face. I mean, you just call it what it is, man. Propaganda is propaganda. I don't care if it's what cause it's for. Just call it for what it is. I just clicked the link. I'm trying not to hit anything else because okay, here we go. I'm just looking at images of people saying, oh, I'm so in here. Fourth picture in out of 11 is her 28 years old. 28 is her like prom picture. Alive, well, smiling, pre-poke. And then pictures of her in love with her husband, her cat, her high school friends, and then mixed with a comment of her mother talking about Gates and Fauci. Here's the end. News of Brinkmeyer's death was shared on Twitter by Houston. I don't know what that is. Ophthalmologist. I'll copy it. Ophthalmologist Dr. Richard Orso. No reason for young people to feel oh, look at this. Okay, interesting. So this is the quote, YouTube. This is the quote from another doctor. No other strikes, please. No reason for young people to feel and this was back in 2021, they need this vaccine. No, let me say it again. No reason for young people to feel they need this vaccine. IFR is extremely low. What is that? What is that? He posted. Is that the instant? Why wouldn't they share that right here? Urso, who has been an outspoken proponent of hydrochloroquine. Oh man, we're taking a blast to the past as a treatment. Which, by the way, the mainstream now accepts hydrochloroquine as a treatment. Has previously been reported to the Texas Medical Board for using it in patients, according to the Texan, a news site run by a prominent Tea Party activist, politicized. The Texas Medical Board later dismissed the complaint and said there was insufficient evidence to prove that a violation of the Medical Practice Act occurred, MedPage Today reported. His Twitter feed shows that he has also called masks nonsense. Hey, this is another doctor. It's a doctor. And criticized Dr. Who's that guy? Anthony Fauci. It's like, it's like it never happened. He came, he ran the country, and he's gone. I forgot. I don't know who he is. As well as multiple public health agencies. Look, the reason I even talk about this stuff still, and I know we're all freaking tired of it, is because I'm not personally, and I hope we, as Americans, as human beings, to our fellow Canadians and anybody in this country, to my friends in Australia who have kept in touch with me while they were implementing draconian laws and literally making FEMA-like camps for the unvaccinated until they got vaccinated. I'm going to get stricken down because I want them to know that we won't forget, and we will not forget how this went down, how they manipulated and took advantage of the panic in the populace that the mainstream media, hand in hand with the government, effectively put into the place to the point that people were buying toilet paper for what reason? I don't know. I don't understand how the mass manipulation and the behaviors of the human condition really works. So I guess this was instantaneous wave-free ratio. Thank you, Big Barn Productions. Shout out to you. So yeah, look, I see their tactics, the slow drip of information to make the lies appear like they were always truth, when in fact they were never the truth. It was always a lie. But with so much time on their hands to slowly generate a narrative that they want us to believe, that's why I have for 2 years now, or 3 years, just been calling what I see the mainstream news cycle do to be similar to a saline solution, like an IV being just tapped right into us, and slowly they drip new information to overdo and cover up the old information, which was the truth, and totally mass manipulate us to think that we never had it right, even though from the get-go, from the beginning, we knew what was happening was wrong, something was off. But now it's again, it was for your own good. We're going to continue to control what you can think, see, hear, because we're the ones in power and you are just the peons, the 99%, the working class, the Joe Schmoes whose vote we convince you all counts, but really there's an electoral college in place and they actually have the strength of 10,000 voters. So really, what's the point? I didn't mean to get all anti-government or political. I guess this is a freestyle. This is what a progressive patriot freestyle is like. So now, thank you for being here. Let me go through some comments before I dip on out and try to figure something out for my night of day 19 sobriety. I mean, 14, sorry. Make sure, let me see what little people, everyone should go and make sure that you have somebody to deal with your social media once you pass. That's the truth, man. I don't understand why her social media page, her Facebook just disappeared. It is like USSR propaganda, one and the same. I recently watched a movie about propaganda, and that's exactly what this all stinks of from the beginning to the present. Surprised they don't use the same art style. If only she'd gotten it sooner. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. Yeah, the poke would have saved her from the poke. I know plenty of people with underlying health conditions that are just fine. Same here. Many are seniors with diabetes, etc., and they tell you now to get those treatments as soon as possible. We weren't allowed to. I don't care that I recite and repeat this because, goddamn the system, the government, and the status quo, and the mainstream, and the governors and the legislators that allowed people to die alone. My aunt Rose in New Jersey was one of those people. She was sent to one of those, what was it, Cuomo? Cuomo sent hundreds upon hundreds of elderly and sick people and people that were not ill into the same buildings, like a sarcophagus, like a pyramid of death, like the days of old or something. They sent them all there. So my Aunt Rose, who was not allowed to be visited, she was doing better. She was recovering from COVID, and it's no secret now these days, now with hindsight, once the ventilators were introduced for whatever reason, the ventilators were exacerbating the illness and were causing people to expire. And my Aunt Rose went out in just that way. Yeah, that's not something you forget. So it's personal to me. That's why I want to see Cuomo, his family, his little buddy that was on CNN, and it's like everybody forgot that was a thing. Conflict of interest much? The guy that was being touted as the hero and savior of handling New Jersey and the state of New Jersey with how he was making things so mandatory. Don't forget, he made a massive wall and a giant flag of masks when we needed the masks so bad. Let us not forget the ills and malpractices of those leaders that were culpable and accountable for all of this or a part of this. And he has since stepped down for all the wrong reasons. Now, yes, it's great that he has stepped down because he got in trouble for harassment, sexual harassment, multiple allegations. But I think personally, he had to go down for something. And the powers that be ensured it wasn't for how he handled this shit. And meanwhile, people in New Jersey, while they were being sent to mass graves, were laughing at Florida and DeSantis. And I think we did just fucking fine. So take that. I still can't make, and the conflict of interest. A mainstream CNN news anchor or wherever the hell he was talking his bullshit. Okay, what was it? Mario? I don't remember. He would not report on his own brother. That is an immediate example of a conflict of interest. How can a reporter be trusted to report the facts if they're not willing to speak about the leadership and the actions of their own family, who happens to be in charge of a giant blue state? So yeah, Cuomo family, Clintons, Bidens, I fucking hate you all. I'm not hiding that. That doesn't make me a lefty or a righty. I'm just where I'm at, and I know my fucking, I'm cursing too much. I know my enemies. Y'all are an enemy to the people, as far as I'm damn concerned here. And Pelosi and AOC, you were a fake progressive. You sold out. Bernie Sanders, who is an independent, he left the Democratic Party. He left the DNC. Think about him what you will. Apparently, it's in my blood. I cannot avoid talking about politics because it's a part of our world and our reality. And you can't put your head in the damn sand. Bernie Sanders condemned a recent Democrat. Her name, I forget, what was it? Simon or something? Cinema. Senator, a Democrat named Cinema. And I don't know why Bernie Sanders is giving her hell, but Bernie Sanders, of all people, is calling her a sellout and a corporate Democrat. So, yeah, I'm going to say right now, it looks like as much as the mainstream media, which is definitely aired on the more liberal side, uh, calling the GOP the clown car and all that, which I used to be a part of that. Okay. Go look at my videos and find them. You'll see that. It appears that the DNC and the progressives and the left are eating their own right now, which is what they always accused the right of doing. I don't agree with either side. I don't believe in a two-party system, means of control. That's an easy divide and conquer, Sun Tzu, old school shit, man. That's the easiest way to divide us, is to put us into two opposing sides. But just call it what you will. This thing that we have going on, I don't know what to call it. Our government, America, I think things are breaking and we're all just too, not self-absorbed. I don't know what we are, but we're distracted. We're distracted. And the most damage that can be wrought is not coming from afar, not from foreign, but domestic. Our own homes, our own televisions, our own three-letter agencies are wrecking the damage and sowing the dissent, planting the seeds of dissent. So, yeah, make of it what you will. Do me a favor. If you feel that it has been earned, please feel free to smash the thumbs up button if you feel it was deserved for the rant. I hope you guys appreciate this form of going live. I feel a part of me feels bad that I don't get my whole setup with OBS and play the clips and present and react, but I guess sometimes with a nuclear head, I feel like I have some level of a responsibility to speak on what I truly believe to be the truth, or what I at the very least believe to be what I keep calling a divider that we can all be unified on and speak truth to power. Pool our resources, our intelligence, our connections, our critical thinking, because we don't appreciate regurgitated facts chewed up for us and spit back at us and then deleted on mass media web forums and all that. And we're told, no, don't go look there. No, I say, fuck all that. Power to the people. And this is why I don't care who's made fun of it. I've seen it. This is why I'll keep saying justice for just us. And when I say just us, I mean the real working class. That's what I mean. Nothing more, nothing less. Good night. Hug your loved ones and strength and unity. Exactly, Queen Survivor. Let's see where the night brings us. You owe yourselves any joy you can get out of this life because we only got one. Good night.